So we don't know what else they have in stock to present. But if your star witnesses and their evidence that you want to use to kill Nnamdi Kanu has now become obvious a tissue of lies obtained illegally. So what do you think will be next? I don't know. Today in court, just for the view, right? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
You're blocking me. Oh. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Good to see you.
Oh, sorry. Onye du iPod, o meriwo n'izu, onye ya abakare, mama dawura, unapuri meri Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, na Python dance 3. Unapuri meri Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, na Python dance 3. Unapuri meri Nnamdi bụ onye du iPod, o meriwo n'izu, mbiro ya aba re, Mamanda Mura, Una Puri Mary Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Una Puri Mary Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Una Puri Mary Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Una Puri Mary Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Una Puri Mary Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Una Puri Mary Nnamdi.
Nnamdi. Thank you very much. That was Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, right? In court earlier today. So that was a kind of like a big win, generally. All right. As much as those of us who have been following this, listen, we all know what is going on. We all know why Nnamdi Kanu is being treated this way. And we also know why those who are treating him like this have supporters who want him to remain being treated like this. But internally, there are so many of you, even those of you who will call yourself critics of Nnamdi Kanu. There is a place in you. I want to believe there is still a tiny place in you. That there must still be humanity left. Even if you pretend that, oh yeah, he saw it coming, he put him in trouble, this and that, as some coward would say. You understand? Like, you know what? In this life, instead of him to, he don't go UK. Instead of him, he's British. Instead of him to be enjoying his life with his children and his family, he decided to start, talking about Biafra. So he knew what is coming for him. So let's take out your jealousy and your cowardice. All right? There must be something in you that is still human, that is not totally dead. All right? If somebody genuinely committed any crime in this world, they automatically deserves, right, to serve the punishment for their crime. But it is a very, very sad thing for somebody who has done nothing, right, to be serving a punishment, an unjust treatment, where it cannot be physically linked to any form of what you call physical violence on anybody. But still, is facing the supposed justice system that should be just. But that's not his own case, Nnamdi Kanu. If he has done anything, the right thing is what? Court, Abi. And then, if he is guilty, then you punish him. But what do you do when the court says he is innocent, is discharged and acquitted, but the people holding him feels like that wasn't what they wanted? So they double down on the abuses of his human rights, and they continue to give the reasons and excuses why they are doing all of that, even when it is totally illegal. So you that didn't like him, that you feel like he's, he saw it coming, blah, 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 blah. If what I'm saying to you right now, it's that whatever is left in you as humanity, as a human being, you see there's something you will feel like, it's wrong, even if it's going to be for once, or even twice. There's something inside you that will say, it's true, Sha, it's true. I don't like him. I don't like him, but it's not been, they've not treated him right at all. So this is a big deal. And they can pull off something tomorrow, like they did, the way they invalidated the judgment that discharged him and acquitted him of any charges. And surprisingly, right, the charges that they charged Nnamdi Kanu with in 2015, 2016, today is different. All of that charges, they've dropped all of that. Why? How? Because the intention is not to prosecute him. The intention is to persecute him. Do you understand? He was charged with treason, treasonable felony, that his effort could cause civil war in Nigeria or breakup of Nigeria. And because of that, he's committed treasonable felony. They accused him of, I want to use the right word, blackmail. No, not blackmail. They accused him of defamation. All right? Criminal defamation of Bukwari when he called him Jibrin al-Sudani. Those were the charges earlier on now. They accused him of a future potential terrorist group, IPOB, that they want to proscribe IPOB, right? Today, the ECOWAS court has ruled IPOB is not a terrorist organization. The British court has ruled IPOB is not a terrorist organization. The World Terror Watch listed and said IPOB is not a terrorist organization, including the lobbyists they were sending to the White House to help them convince the Congress that they will want to proscribe, they are proscribing IPOB and they want America to do the same. America returned and said, no, they are not. Do you understand? So Nnamdi Kanu was discharged and acquitted. All of this today, they are no longer charges. They are not charging him for calling Bukwari Jibrin al-Sudani anymore. Well, they stopped that one before, a long time ago, because when Nnamdi Kanu said he would plead guilty to every charge they bring against him, if Bukwari could do a DNA, that he should take this Bukwari's blood or anything, DNA, and take Aisha's children's DNA and compare them. If they match that this man is Bukwari, that he, Nnamdi Kanu, will not only drop the Biafran agitation, he would also plead guilty to any charges. But surprisingly, DSS dropped that particular one. They are no longer charging him for calling Bukwari Jibri because he said Buhari is dead, buried in Saudi Arabia. That was part of the charges against him. Now they are now charging him for terrorism while they kidnapped him, locked him up somewhere, and started funding different armed terror groups, politically sponsored terrorists in the eastern part of Nigeria. They now want to put that on him. That's the old case. That is now the new case. They are not charging him for terrorism. So if all you are charging him for terrorism and all your evidence, to some extent, is now ruled inadmissible, evidence, you need to understand the meaning of this song. Oh, ye do I fall.
Oh, ye do I fall. Oh, Mary, Wonizu, Woniya, Abakare, Mama Daora, Unapuri, Mary, Nnamdi, win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapuri, Mary, Nnamdi, win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Na Python dance the three. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi bu onye du aimo. O Mary Wonizu mbiro ya. Abakare Mama Daora. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance the 3. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance the 3. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance the 3. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance the 3. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi.
You get it?
Okay.
If you don't get it, forget about it.
So the court has now adjourned because they still have what is called their prosecution evidence and witnesses. I don't know if they will call more or they'll just wrap it up. Do you understand? So until the next sitting. So while that's there, right, a brother who is becoming a regular face now, especially discussing the geopolitics in Nigeria, which a lot of you should invest your time, right? He believes, or he just discovered what I believe some of us, I mean, probably knew before now, right? But coming from this part, seems like I would love to share it with you. This guy talking about why you have 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria, not regions that were pretty much like autonomous, independent regions, because they were not created. Geopolitical zones that you are hearing today, they are not created, by the people through any legal instrument. They were proclamation of Abacha. And here is this brother from the north. Is becoming regular right now, right? So those of you who are probably listening to him, I want you to listen to this.
In my own opinion, I think that the 6 geopolitical zones that were created, I think by Abacha, or who was it, I think it was a deliberate and calculated attempt aimed at containing the Igbos. That is my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. And let me explain further. You see, part of the basis, part of the reasons why the government gave at that point in time for the creation of these 6 geopolitical zones was the fact that it was not just created out of geographical locations, but based on the fact that people that were similar in culture and other things were brought together. So the question I begin to ask myself is, how is it that there's no similarity between an Igbo man and the Niger Deltans? You quite agree with me that there's similarity, right? And secondly, let's look at the creation. Why I say it's a deliberate move to contain them in one place is the fact that, look at the way they would have been privileged to the water if not for the fact that they were carved in the middle. If you look at it, you see they were carved in the middle, which deprived them of having a seaport. But when you look at places like Lagos now, Lagos is privileged to have that by virtue of the fact that it's close to the water. And funny enough now, you get to look at it that the seaports that are supposed to be viable in the Niger Deltas are not viable. Why are they not viable? You should answer that question to yourself. So if you look at it generally, there's a problem there. And funny enough, the Niger Delta seems not to be agitating for having these seaports. Why? Possibly because they are already rich in terms of the revenue allocation they get because they have oil. But another thing again is the fact that one of the main reasons why the Igbo man have to leave to places like Lagos is the fact that the Igbo man is a businessman, and there's ease of doing business since they are more into importing or whatever to come and reside in Lagos. But funny enough, this would have been made much easier had it been there's a kind of if the seaports in the Niger Deltas is viable, right? So, but you get to see that by the time the Igbo man complain of we need seaport now, they will say no, you don't have anywhere to have a seaport, right? And let's go to this other aspect. What are the major reasons for the agitation of an Igbo man in the country at the moment? We just need to do justice to that. One is the fact that the Igbo man feels threatened anywhere he goes. In most of the places he goes, most especially in the north, anything that happens, he feels threatened. We're going to burn down your business. This is not your place. We'll send you away. With evidence, right? It has happened so many times. In short, even recently in Lagos, they seems to be having that as well, right? That is point agitation number one. Number two agitation is the fact that they feel that they don't need to go to Lagos to actually access seaports and have ease of doing business, and a lot of it. It would have been much more easier had it been them